The Pokemon Sun and Moon hype train has officially left the station, and my ticket's been punched. As I sit here waiting for us to reach our destination, however, I begin to ponder about the games that came before. Specifically, out of all the previous generations of Pokemon, which one is the best? We'll toss out the 4th generation right away. Now, don't get me wrong, I love these games. In fact, Generation 4 is probably the gen I've spent the most time on. But the games have some crippling flaws that make them unsuited to the title of best game. For starters, the box legendaries are frankly mediocre in design. Sinnoh as a region is just average. It's not terrible, but it's nothing special either. And perhaps most damningly, Diamond and Pearl have some crippling issues with game speed that really make them almost unplayable nowadays. While I wouldn't say I hate Generation 4, it's definitely not the best. Gen 5 has to be thrown out as well. Now, I personally think these games get a worse rap than they deserve. They introduced a lot of cool auxiliary stuff, and the presentation is really actually quite good. But the linearity of the Unova region is definitely a point against it, as I enjoy a more open region where you can sequence break and roam around however you want. And of course, the infamous Generation 5 Pokemon designs are not great. So, Gen 5, underrated? Yes. Best? No. It gets a little harder from here on. The next one I'm going to eliminate is Generation 3, which is honestly fantastic overall. Ruby and Sapphire are some of my favorite games for about the first 60%. As much as I love the character designs and the Pokemon designs and the landlocked portion of the Hoenn region, the fact that you spend the entire 3rd act of the game surfing is just not something I can reconcile. So while I absolutely love Ruby and Sapphire in every other aspect, overall I think I'd give it a 7.8 out of 10, too much water. The next to go is Generation 6. If Generation 5 had good presentation, Gen 6 has absolutely fantastic presentation. The 3D graphics look great, trainer customization is something that's been missing for a long time, and roller skating is just plain fun. On top of that, the Pokemon designs are cool, Kalos is a pretty neat region, and the fairy type is actually pretty good from a balance standpoint. Where I'm gonna eliminate Generation 6 is in its side characters. For the life of me, I seriously cannot remember a single gym leader except that chick with all the Lucarios, which is not exactly great. On top of that, in X and Y you have 4 rivals, and of those, only like 1 even gets any sort of character development, with the rest just being relegated to a couple of voice lines. Side characters may be a small thing to nitpick, but it's enough that I'm not gonna call it the best generation. So we're down to our final 2. Surprise, surprise, it's also the first 2. Now you're probably thinking at this point, oh great, the host is one of those Gen 1 purists who think that the first generation of Pokemon is sacred and is so much better than anything that has been released or ever will be released. That, my friends, is where you are wrong. Now I'm going to preface this by saying first generation of Pokemon is absolutely fantastic. It's what got me into the games in the first place. The side characters are iconic, the gyms are iconic, the region is excellent, it's non-linear, the anime adaptation is the best we're ever gonna get. But I have to talk about the Pokemon. Now, some of you have already jumped up out of your seats to turn off the TV or the YouTube or whatever you're watching this on. The Generation 1 Pokemon designs are not original. Pidgey is just a bird. Geodude is just a rock. The ones that are original aren't even that good. Jynx, what are you doing? What is Jynx? What is Jynx? I am eliminating Generation 1 because of Jynx. That's it. You ruined it for everyone. What's not to love about Generation 2? You liked Kanto? Screw it, we're bringing it back. You liked Team Rocket? Screw it, we're bringing him back. You liked how edgy Gary Oak was? Well, guess what? We're topping that. We've got this kid who steals Pokemon. Johto, in and of itself, is a fantastic region as well. It's got all these little side dungeons to explore that may not even have any relevance on the plot, but that's what I like about it. They're still maintaining the original spirit of the Pokemon games with the exploration, while improving on what made the first games great. The Pokemon designs here are much cooler. You've got a Blowfish Pokemon, you've got a Manta Ray Pokemon, you've got Ampharos, one of my favorite Pokemon of all time. And the side characters are still as lovable as you would expect from an original Pokemon game. So that's it, Generation 2. That's the best. So that's my opinion on which Pokemon Gen is best. For now, that is. The Pokemon Sun and Moon Hype Train is still en route. We'll see what happens when it gets here. I'm Tyler James. Now back to the show.